Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walah. The mind is a powerful force. It can make the worst of the best or the best of the worst. The mind, like the body, must be nurtured and cared for. And just like how the body needs treatment when it is ill, the mind too needs to be treated to heal. It is stated in a hadith, there is no disease that Allah has created except that He has also created its treatment. Disease can dwell in the human body, but it can also dwell in the mind. So while physical well-being is important, sound mental health is vital. As a young girl, I was always fascinated with the idea of the human psyche. So it seemed only right that when I completed my schooling, the obvious choice was to study towards a degree in psychology. As I learned of the different mental disorders and diseases, their origins and causes and the techniques, skills and sometimes medicines used in their treatment, I began to question the Western ideology of the understanding of the human psyche. So I delved deeper and began my own research on the Islamic understanding of psychology. I was amazed to learn that early Muslim philosophers and scholars contributed great works to the pursuit of clearly understanding psychology and mental health. During the height of Islamic civilization, Islamic scholars were discussing psychiatry, psychology, psychotherapy, and their connection to the holistic spiritual, mental, and physical health. Innumerable psychological and therapeutic components are incorporated in the Quran and the traditions and sayings of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There are several early works and contributions of Islamic scholars that have contributed to what is now known as Islamic psychology, identified in Arabic as ilmun nafs, which means the science of the self or the psyche. According to psychology, all human behavior, thoughts and feelings are produced by the actions of our brains, nerves, muscles and glands. The Quran indicates the importance of the soul, while psychology ends everything in the body. Due to the multi-dimensional use of the words in the Arabic language, it is difficult to translate nafs into one specific word. But nafs basically refers to our soul, the psyche, the heart or mind. Nafs is used to indicate our own self. Nafs refers to a specific part of our self that has desires or appetites. The Islamic concept of nafs highlights the intricate and complex composition of the inner self. Freud in the early 1900s had described similar states as the id, ego and the superego. I was captivated by the idea of making the Western ideology and Islamic understanding of psychology merge. And so, as soon as I completed my degree, I enrolled for an Alima course, as it was the only way I could find to get a Quranic understanding of the human psyche or the nafs. After all, the human body is merely the instrument of the mind's thoughts and the soul's activities.
الحياة بنور هدى وتطرب نفس له طاعة ويبلغ سعد إلى منتهى جمال الوجود بذكر الإله.
This is a story about a family plagued by a sickness that dwells in the soul of almost every one of us. The disease of desire, the want to keep up with the Joneses, and the need to fill the gaping hole within us with a false sense of contentment and satisfaction that comes with wealth and fame. It is a hot summer's day in early January in the suburb of Southville in Johannesburg. Zaid Rajah, an architect by profession, returns home from his first day of work for the new year. His two teenage daughters, Sarah and Zinira, are at friends' houses, and his 16-year-old son, Dayan, has just returned to his class after the long December holiday.
Assalamu alaikum. Des, I'm home.
I'm in the kitchen, Zaid. You home early? I hope you haven't lost this job as well, because then we'll be sitting in the same boat as we were a couple of years ago.
No, nothing like that. Tasneem, I have some news. At work today,
If you think I'm going to give you a chance to complain about your day, you can think again. Let me tell you how horrible my day was.
Tasneem, I wasn't going to,
Zaid, we didn't even go for holiday last year, and all I've been doing is cleaning and cooking and washing since Nora went home for Christmas. And now she called to say her father died, so she needs another 2 weeks leave.
Poor Nora. Ah, that's terrible.
What's even more terrible is that I will have to carry on doing all the housework until she gets back. And these kids are driving me insane with all their demands for food and entertainment. And on top of that, I have to cook for your father this week, since Aziza also started madrasa again.
Tasneem, have sabr. It's only another 2 weeks of this. Inshallah, I'll get someone to come in and help with the washing and ironing. And don't worry about Dada. He told me that Aziza's prepared a few meals in advance, so all he has to do is pop in the microwave and heat and eat.
As if your father even knows how to use a microwave. You don't know how hard I work in this house, Zaid. Looking after your children and cooking for your father and sister.
I know, Tess. And I really appreciate all that you do for me and our kids. And for Dada and Aziza too. You know, it hasn't been easy for them since my mom passed away.
Yes, and it will get even more difficult to look after your father if Aziza gets married. As it is, I'm stuck in this rut of seeing to the kids day in, day out. If I don't have some kind of change soon, I'm going to go mad. It's really very frustrating.
But Tess, that's what moms do, right? And now that the kids are older, isn't it easier?
That's what you think. Bigger children means bigger problems. How I wish I hadn't had to give up my successful career in that fabulous design company barely a year after I landed my first job when I fell pregnant with Sarah. And now it's almost impossible for me to get back into the industry.
Is that what you want? To go back to work?
Well, on the salary you're earning right now, I might just have to. I thought architects are supposed to earn tons of money. Anyway, you said you had some news. What is it?
Well, I don't know if it's good news or bad news. But I got a promotion at work. And that will require us to move to the north somewhere.
Oh, Zaid, that's wonderful. Oh, of course it's good news. This is what we've always wanted. And a promotion obviously means a raise. Don't you see? If we grab this opportunity, we can work our way up the social and financial ladder and live the life we've been craving for so long.
Don't you mean the life you've been craving for, Tess?
13-year-old Zinira, who has just returned from her friend's house a few minutes ago, has caught the tail end of her parents' conversation. She races upstairs and waits in her bedroom until she hears both Sarah and Dayan coming up the stairs. She motions them silently into her room, closing the door softly behind her. They look at her with puzzled faces.
Z, what's up?
You look like you just lost your best friend. Did you ever fight with Amina?
What? Oh, no, nothing like that. It's just, I heard.
Heard what?
I heard Mommy and Daddy talking in the kitchen.
Why are you always eavesdropping? You know Mommy hates it.
I wasn't eavesdropping, Sarah. I just happened to be walking past and I heard what they were saying.
Come on then. Oh, don't keep us in suspense. Tell us what it is.
Jerry said he got a promotion at work.
So, that's great news.
Well, yes, but it means we have to move to the northern suburbs because the new job is there.
Move? You mean move away from Southville? No way. I can't leave all my friends and go live in some upmarket area. And what about my Hiv and my Molana? I'm already on para 14. I can't change to a new class now.
Are you sure you heard right, Z? Mommy and Daddy can't possibly expect me to attend a totally new school in my matric year.
Well, what about me? I'm going to high school finally, and now I'll have to find new friends and settle into a strange environment. Sarah, is there an Islamic school in the northern suburbs?
I'm not sure. I hope there's one, because we've all ever attended Islamic schools all these years. Okay, let's all keep calm. I think we're getting way ahead of ourselves. Why don't we just wait until Mommy and Daddy tell us about it?
They'll probably tell us about it at supper tonight. I think we should all stand together and tell them that there's no way we can move this year. We all have too much going on.
Good luck with that, Dayan. You know how Mommy is. She's already super excited about the move. I don't think you'll be able to change her mind.
Later that evening, after a supper where the 3 children were told by their excited mother and their slightly anxious father about the possible move to the suburb of Rosewood in the North Rand, Dayan goes to see his grandfather, Dada Rashid, who lives with his daughter Aziza in the outhouse on their property.
Salam, Dada.
Walaikum salam. Dayan, how are you, my son?
Not good. Dada, I have some terrible news.
Nothing can be more terrible than me losing your grandmother to COVID last year.
I'm sorry about Ma. We still miss her so much. But Dada, you have to carry on with your life. Ma would have been so sad to see you sitting at home every day just pottering around.
I'm an old man now, Dayan. I can't just spring around like you do. My bones creak, and since I have retired, I find that I get tired so quickly.
You need to find a pastime, Dada. Why don't you take up golf? Or I can show you how to use Twitter and Instagram on your phone.
This changing times, us old people really can't keep it up. It's enough that you taught me how to use WhatsApp, my boy. I don't need all those other fancy apps.
But Dada, you love reading the news. And since your newspaper subscription ended, I see you hardly even read the paper anymore.
But that's because I subscribe to News 24. I can read all the latest happenings around the world from my phone.
Wow. Really, Dada? Who taught you about News 24?
Aziza got it on my phone for me. So you see, my boy, I am not all that old-fashioned. Now, what's this news of yours?
Daddy got a promotion at work.
Zaid told me there was a possibility of an opening in the company. I think it's actually wonderful news.
But Dada, it means we have to move out of Southville to an area called Rosewood, somewhere in the North End.
That will be tough for the 3 of you, having to uproot and change schools and madrasas and leave all your friends behind.
Exactly. We were planning to explain that to Daddy, but you know, Mommy, she's so excited about living in a posh area that she didn't even give us a chance to voice our feelings.
I think you need some time to get used to the idea, my boy. And if your parents are happy to make the change, I think you 3 should go along with what they want. It will make them happy.
But Dada, what about you and Azzy? Will you move with us? We can't just leave the 2 of you alone here.
Dayan, don't worry about us. Your father has the opportunity to climb the corporate ladder, and I'm not going to hold him back from it.
But what about the house? You gave us the big house and moved into this cottage since Ma passed away. Now what will you do with this whole property?
Dayan, you don't need to worry about all of that. I will discuss it with your father, and I will decide what to do.
Shame, Dada. Since you lost Ma, you've been so lonely. And now you'll be even more lonely once we move away.
Maybe I will take up golf. Then, or even better, maybe I will find a new granny for you.
Really, Dada? Wow, that would be so cool. Let me show you this amazing app called Muzmatch. It's a Muslim dating and marriage app. You just download it and you can find a wife online. All you have to do is create a profile to let people know who you are and what you are looking for. Then it matches you up to compatible single Muslim women near you who fit your filters and preferences.
Whoa, Dayan, hold your horses. I was just joking when I said I will find a wife. And I have absolutely no intention of dating. I don't really want to get married. Maisha was my life, you know. No other woman will be able to match up to her. And definitely not one who uses an app to find a husband. And anyway, how does a young boy like you know so much about a marriage app?
Duh, Dada. Everyone is talking about it. Why don't I just download it on your phone and you can see how it works?
My boy, if I ever have to look for another wife, I will do it in the old-fashioned way and go on a samusaran. How can I trust an app to find me my ideal partner?